Hello. More often than not, once we are done with simulations, we want to present it to an audience. The audience could be a superior, even someone lower, or even at a conference. You want to show it, you want to explain your results, and then you just can take your simulation and then, I mean, most times, or sometimes if it's a maybe live demo, then you can really show the simulation, but then it's best to present your result in slides or something, and then for this you need images um, of what you want to show. Now, what I'm going to be discussing is in this video, is how to generate high quality images in CST Studio from your simulation results. And what I'm going to be discussing is based on personal preference. So you could but then I hope that the steps I take to personalize the visualization in this video would help or might maybe point you to or show you how you could also personalize it for yourself to get your own what you like. So that's a caveat. What I'm going to be discussing here is not like the best. It's not like a best. It's just a preference that I have. So we start from the basic one. The basic one is I want to export. Let's say I just want to show this model. This is my model. I would go to View tab and then Export Image. Then when I go to Export Image, I'm going to start with a low resolution, so I show the difference. So I'm going to start with a low resolution. I think the default that comes with CST is 800 by 500 or 800 by 800 or something like that. So, and I always check open image after export, because then on Windows, at least when I open the image I can do a quick edit, and the edit is usually maybe cutting off some parts. So I'll show with this example. So I've exported this image. Okay, of course you see some parts are cut, so let's do that again. View, export image. I'm going to make it, let's say, 1200. Then you could click here to select the folder. So I put it in this place, and then you could select PNG, and then I could name it, let's say, I just name it image or anything, INMG. That doesn't matter. So I've changed the folder and also specified the name. So once it's done, it opens. Now what I said about snipping. So in Windows 10 and Windows 11, you have this really cool photo app that once it just opens, I can easily crop it. And then the reason why I crop it is because if you've ever had to upload an image to LaTeX for your maybe a thesis or a paper or something, then you know that it's really, at least for me, I wouldn't speak for everyone, it's really painful. It's really a painful experience, like determining the snip dimensions for your images so that everything fits together, because you could also do this in LaTeX. It doesn't affect the original image, but then it just shows how this is presented and then just creates a kind of box and shows you just this. I do not like that at all. So I usually like making sure all the white spaces around my images are gone before I upload them. So I'm going to save options and then save in place. So this is what I have usually from the export. Now you could see that this image is not really good quality. I mean, if you should zoom out of it, if I can do that, from here. Okay, something is not working. I think I'm having network problems today. No, that's not it. Let's see. I can't seem to zoom out or zoom in. I'll just close it, but then I'll show the difference. Now that's how you get the images, but then I usually like high resolution, because then it looks good on your paper. It makes it look high quality, of course, high quality images. So I usually like putting this at really high resolutions, and this is just random, but then I'm trying to get a 4K screen resolution, but then I don't think this is the exact value. So I export and I don't bother changing any names now, but Yes. So compared to the previous image, which I still have, no, I don't have it open. Let's see, not this. INMG. Yes. Now it's zoomed out. Yeah. Now compared to this image, you already see, I mean, if you should look at especially this region, you already see an improvement in the image. But then if you should zoom out, the more out of the image you zoom, the less the. Now can I zoom out of this? I think I have to close it and open it again before I can zoom out. I wonder why. Oh boy, yes. So yeah, if you should zoom out, then you do not really see so much of a difference. But then if you really need high quality images, especially for presentation, because you know your presentation usually most of the time, especially at a conference, you have to present it on a very big screen, and then if you should have your image blown up and then it looks like this, okay, it doesn't. At least for me, it doesn't look nice. So I usually use the a very high resolution and export the image, then crop the white spaces out. So that's one. Now the other thing is, if you notice, you have this is supposed to be a beam pipe, is a circular beam pipe, but then you have this kind of chamfer, this kind of yeah, it's not looking circular, it's looking like some polygon, and then you also see this part which is looking as though um the models do not overlap exactly, so you could see this at this region. So the way you can um, take this out, and I only recommend this when you want to get your images, because if you should do this when you're still running your simulations, then you have a problem, because it now takes a long time to navigate around. It also takes a long time to update the views. So only do this when you are done and then you want to get your results for publications or for presentations. Or, for example, let's say you want to check if maybe you're modeling something and you want to see if both parts align perfectly, then you can also do this to check. So you go to view options and then shape accuracy. I usually like ramping it up to the highest, and then if I should click OK, I'm going to pause the video because it's going to take some time, I think a minute to update. So see you when I'm back. And that took, I think, a little over 1 minute. Now you can see that the rounded edges actually look round, and then if you should zoom for a split second, you see that you do not even, everything overlaps. You do not have that um, overlap pronounced again. I mean, you still see it's visible, but then it's like very, very tiny. I mean, not overlap, but you had some material, some part of the model protruding outwards. So that's how you can do it. And then you could also see that this becomes slow, updating it. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to turn this off again. I'm going to turn this off so that I can easily navigate. But then I think always do this when I want to export images, and then if you should export, let me just export one of these because it looks so nice. And voila, so you have this instead of what we had before. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it off now. Shape accuracy default, and okay, I'll pause because this also takes some time to update. Okay, that didn't take a lot of time, I think maybe 10 seconds or so. So now we're back to this. Yeah, what else could you do? What else could you do? Let's say, so I have this eigen mode result and I have this. Then I could go to contour view and then let's see. So what am I viewing? I'm viewing the H. Let's see the H field. Something is okay. What's wrong with you? What's up with the E field? let's see, smart scaling. Yes. So I could visualize any of the fields and then use smart scaling and then I think many of the times it actually works to give kind of what I would prefer as a visualization, as the optimal visualization of the field intensities in the cavity. But then many of the time it actually doesn't. It's, I mean, for this I do not like this visualization. I do not like it. I want more contrast in the intensity. So you see, if I should reset the scaling, then I don't even see any variation in the field intensity. And I think that's, and I wouldn't even say anything, but then there's no intensity. One thing I could do is I could instead switch to log scale, then I start seeing some variation. So this is reset scaling. I just introduced log scale. I could also check auto and don't check, and I think you could play around with this, but then for this it doesn't make any difference. So I could also go to smart scaling, but then go back and then let's see, log. Then something I you could also do is you could also adjust this manually. So let's say, for example, your goal was to show that okay, you have the concentration of the field energy in these cavities, then you could yeah, manually adjust this here to show it. So there's that, and then yeah, I think that's it for the field visualizations. I hardly do I ever show arrow plot, but then you could also, I mean, if you want the arrow plot, then you could also go and then could also increase the size of the arrows or reduce the size of the arrows. Yeah, so the density of the arrows, so you could reduce it and increase it, and then you could also select the component weight. You should be able to select the component that you want to visualize for arrow plot, but then your contour plot just shows the magnitude. So you could have something like this. Now you could also look at carpet plot. I hardly ever use this because I mean maybe for some applications, but I have never had to use this. I think this just plots the on the plane. It just shows kind of like, for example, let's say you had maybe deformation or something, so it just plots the values as peaks in um yeah, on the plane. I mean, this actually looks nice. I've never had need for it, but it doesn't look bad. So I could instead view it on the instead of the airplane, I could view it here, and then I have something like this. That's cool. I mean, but yeah, I've never had need for this, like I said. So, or you could, and here you could select, yeah, you want your X component, you want your Y component, or your Z component. That's strange for arrows. Is it contours? Ah, yeah, it's for contours that you can actually select the I mixed it. So it's for contours you can select the X, Y, or Z component, but then for arrows it just shows it because of course it's an arrow is a vector, so you have all the components and there. Yeah, missed that in my head. And you could also show yeah ISO lines if you want. Now, for me, I prefer, so I'll go back to contour. Now, this yeah plot is looking, at least for my own preference, is looking a bit too dull. The colors are not very bright. They are kind of toned. And for me, I would prefer it to be different. So you could actually make the colors brighter by going to view options, and I usually increase the illumination. I hope this doesn't do anything. And then in the specials, I'll come to silhouettes or splines later, but then the other ones I don't need to do anything. Then surface reflectivity doesn't affect this plot, so I wouldn't touch that for now. So I go to OK. Now you see that the colors are a bit brighter. So if that's what you prefer, like me, then this is for you. So this is what you have in the end, and just to show the difference between what it was before, so you could always go to default and then click on preview. So this is what it looked like before you had all this dark stuff, but then increasing it to this, then I could also preview. Then you have this. So I prefer this. And then to show something else, let's say, oh, I did not save it. Illumination, preview, and okay. So now I've just been showing the fields on one plane or the other, but then you could also rotate the plane. Now I don't. You could also rotate the plane using these, what I call them, knobs. So let's say I wanted to view the field on the axis. I wanted to adjust the axis to get to this coupler that I have here, and I wanted to view the field on the cross section. Let's say the cross section that is not cross section, the plane that goes through the middle of the coupler. So I could also click this and then rotate. I could also click this and rotate the plane. Now something that would be really nice would be a way to specify the angle, but then this is giving in something like position, which is not the angle, and I don't really know how this is calculated. So it's just giving us position. Yeah, so I try to align as much as possible the plane. Or if you know maybe how I can specify this as an angle, let's say I wanted to be at 45 degrees, if there's some settings that I could use to specify this, like directly, okay, I wanted 45 degrees. So now you see that I have the field on the plane, although it's not, okay, yeah, this is what I want. So I have the fields through this plane, and what am I missing? Yeah, then you could, of course, let's say you wanted to take save this, then you could then go to view, export images, and then you could also select this, and then let's see what it shows. Now this is what we have. Now you see that it's really the lines are really defined, and that's because of the high quality. So I could, just go here and then let's see, crop if I wanted to, and then let's say I just wanted to view what was going on in this region, and then I cropped it up to this point. That's it. Oh, I didn't save it. So yeah, this is what I have as an image, and then I hope I can take this down. Yes, so let's say you wanted to add this as a visualization. So you see it makes really stunning visuals. Now something else you could do, which is what I just remembered, is the color bar. So the color ramp, which you can also adjust here to maybe create more definition in your plot. This is what you have now. Let's say it was important to show the value range. I haven't found a way to do this. I don't know if CST, if one can do this in CST, because I would like to move the color bar around and maybe make it horizontal so that it fits perfectly in my plot. In time past, what I did was, since I needed the color bar, I would have to kind of adjust my image to the top, or reduce my windows to be so small. But then this also meant I had to produce lower quality images, because as you saw just now, maybe you did not see because I did not mention, if I should export this, what you have is that the color bar becomes so tiny that it becomes like virtually unreadable. So this becomes virtually unreadable, and I haven't found a way to, I wouldn't say fix it, maybe it's just a feature, not a bug. But I haven't found a way to, let's say for example, move it around and then scale the size so I could have like the color bar here. So I usually cut it off most of the time. And what I do is I create a color bar like this, and specify the input that I put here. So let's say reset scaling and then log scale. And then you should also be careful with this. So what I do is I generate a color bar in Python and then place it on the image. So that's like yeah, extra processing steps. So that's why I say you should be careful with how you scale, how you scale, how you scale this, and you should be able to generate a scale like this in Python or in whatever program if that's important to show the color bar, if that's important to show. Otherwise, what I used to do, I'll just show it in case maybe somebody doesn't really maybe care about the quality of the image and want to go that route. So what I did initially was I would, oh boy, I had this here. Let's see, and then what I'll do is I would move this to the top. No, okay. I mean it was mostly try and error because I wanted to create the color bar just close to what I wanted to show, which is this. And I mean you already see that it's already far off to one side. So what I would then do is reduce the quality of my image. So if I should go to view and then export, is there a shortcut for this? Okay. So I would have to reduce the quality of my image. So this is longer, and with the many calculations I had to do, not even calculations, like I had to iterate through yeah, many steps. So you see I have something like this, and I could edit, and then I now have to crop this, and then let's say now you see that the values of the color bar is visible. However, we've lost some quality because if you should increase the resolution, then this becomes also very small. So you see that we've lost some quality in the images. So I'm just showing this in case this is okay for some people, but then yeah, you see it's not even totally aligned. I would want this to move in further. So instead I would maybe come and shift this here and then try to play around with the settings. So if if this is what you'd prefer, then yeah, okay with that. But then now I just generate the color bar outside. So I want to move this here so I have enough vertical space. So move this here, and now you see because we increase the I think it's illumination, that's what it was called. Yeah, illumination, we increase the light intensity. So now you also have that your model is really bright, which I do not like. However, I think one way you can take this to your advantage is, let me see if I'm actually correct. Now, let's say I wanted to view this model as empty, right? Let's say for me, maybe sometimes I want to view just my coupler. So I select, no, not component. I want to select just the top, no, what are you doing? So let's say I wanted to create an image like this, top, ceramic bottom, and top, ceramic bottom. Yes, just to show the couplers, then this is the coupler. Yes. So I wanted to create an image like this and just show the coupler. So you see that this actually makes for yeah, a nice image. Now if you should increase the what's it model accuracy, then this becomes even like nicer, and then you could also play around with the now I could go ahead and then go to illumination and then try to let's look at what default looks like. You see what it looks like. For me, I prefer the more illuminated because then you kind of have, I mean, for me, what I interpret as you kind of have like a not shadow, but it's not very obvious the cavity itself, but then you have that these are prominent compared to these that you still see more of the cavity, and then you really can't, for example, you really can't see well this feature. Maybe it's just because I'm using glasses. But then this is what I prefer. So you could tweak it and then change it to whatever you like you get the perfect setting. Now another trick that I learned, so I'm just going to leave it aside, is I could also, for these cases, I could also change the material, the color of the material itself, and then I could also edit it. I think white. I think I use white, but then I don't think I'll see anything. Maybe I should use white. Okay, now let's see. This is what white looks like, and now I have to select this. I should have grouped them. Yes, some are still blue. Which one is blue? I think this is still blue, so edit material. I mean, everything's supposed to have one material color, but okay. Okay. Yes, and then the other one. Oh, come on, they are all blue. I could select everything and then change it, or I could go to. I mean, since I imported them, the materials are in different groups. So one thing I could do is I could click and hold, and these are the remaining. So I could just change them at once. Okay. Assign, no, I don't want to assign any material. I want to change it so I do not lose my result. So I can't do a batch of this and painfully have to do this one after the other. Oh boy. And finally to what? Oh, then if I want to change it to a different color, I have to. Yeah, so for example, something like this, and then so you see it gives, let's see, select all of these. No, the pin pipe, the coupler. So it kind of gives the highlights that, okay, you have some kind of a cavity geometry here, and then you see that the couplers themselves are really pronounced. Now I could go back to the view option and then also try out with the illumination. Again, just try out until something you find something that works for the particular. I mean, I think I prefer this. I prefer this because then you could also tell that, okay, this is connected in this way and then this connected in this way. Then it's preference. You get how you want to visualize your result. That's, or what works best for you. That's what you look at in the end. Now for these, I think I just, no, I don't think I, yeah, you have the specular lighting. You see the effect it has. Yeah, it's makes it a bit, it makes the shadowy areas less shadowy. Then silhouettes for splines. Silhouette for splines usually when you okay, now I can't think of an example where I can show this, but then you could, let's see if I should, will only affect future displays. Okay, let's see, preview. This also takes time. This also takes time. Yeah, it would have to update. Okay, yeah, that's done. This I usually use when I want to see the outline of my shape when I use cutting plane. So if I should go for a cutting plane, let's see. Wait, something is not wrong. It's because I rotated my plane. So I'm going to go to either X, yes. Now I can't think of an example to show the silhouette for spline, but then it's really, let's turn this up. Let's see. It's really for when you want to get this cross section. Sometimes some of the sections, like what you're seeing here, I mean, this is not okay. Now I think there's something wrong with yeah, visualization. Okay, maybe not showing this today. Now I do not have any examples, and it's always difficult to replicate. I think in one of my videos with the displacement, sometimes I did not have any, like, I would click on the displacement plot and then nothing shows. So I found that it was helpful sometimes to either turn on or turn off OpenGL. Use only legacy OpenGL, and then it fixed it temporarily. I think most times it usually like fixed it and then I could see it. So but then you could also go ahead and check out the options to see what works best for you. Draw surface face sets outline. I do not select this one, I think. Yeah, you could check it out yourself. But then these are the ones I use. Illumination, I check illumination. Then surface reflectivity, I also do not use this one so much. But then let's see, you could make this high or low. I think I usually prefer it low. So let's see. Yeah, so it controls the reflect, yeah, the reflectivity of the models, and yeah, it doesn't really make much difference most of the time. So I usually leave it as the default value. So that's kind of, I hope I'm not missing anything I set out to do. No. Let's see one more. You could also look at the, let's see this. Now you could also look at the plot properties. I mean, now we're in so scalar plot. This is 3D contour, plot field outside, plot field inside. You could also look at so let's see, plot field inside, plot field outside. No, that doesn't really do anything. I hardly use any of these. The color ramp, I usually control it from here, but then you could also do different things. Now you could let's see, default. So again, I've looked through these settings to see if I could move the color ramp to horizontal positions or something, but then it's I haven't found anything. So if you know of a way to do that, because that would be really helpful, just write it in the comments. I think I'm missing something that I haven't discussed. But then I think that was, for now, I'll say that was it. Just a recap: export image, make sure that this is high quality, and open it so that you could always like trim off the white spaces. Click on open. Then to control the brightness of the plot, at least for contour plots, then you would increase your illumination, and then you could also increase your shape accuracy to get really well defined curves, and you do not have anything overlapping. Now what I usually do, you could see all these lines because of the models I imported. There are different models, and then I had to import all of these lines, import all of these models, and then you see the places where they overlap. So that's why you have all of this. But then most of the time I have to combine all similar solids. So for example, I would combine the chamber. Let's close out on this. I'll combine the solid, the chamber, and then the beam pipe. I will combine it into one, and then you no longer see these lines that you have for export. So yeah, I think that was it. If you have maybe questions about maybe some other things that I did not address in these videos, then you could also leave it in the comment section. I'm still looking to see nothing. You could change your background color. I mean, you see, for me it's white. I prefer that to the default CST gradient that was there before. So you could also change it to white from here, from your view options. Then you could also change your line width. This is usually for if you want to have your cross section and you want to get the shape. So you could change your line width from here, and then it affects. Now I'm wondering why I have this. I have this cross section. It's not supposed to be here, or at least I do not. It's not supposed to be here. Like these lines on my model, I think maybe I touched something that I wasn't supposed to touch. But yeah, maybe in another video I would explain the these lines, and I'll explain how you could get this. I think you can control, controlling the line width from this. They do not always work the way expected, so it's just something you have to play with. So shape outline, for example, if I should increase it to the maximum, then it doesn't affect this. and it also does not affect this. So yeah, or at least probably I think I would admit that maybe it's because I do not yet know how to use them, but then playing around with them, they do not always give exactly what you would expect that they give. I mean, for shape outline, I would expect that if I were to have, like, for example, this cross section, then I would want to increase this, because I ran into this problem when I mean, not a problem, but I had need for this when I was trying to show, if I could, oh, this video is already very long. When I was trying to, let's see, let's go to, when I was trying to generate images for a displacement plot. So what I wanted, I think I could show what I got in the end, but then might be too long for this video. So what I wanted was something like this, you see. So I wanted the displacement field, so I wanted the displaced cavity, and then I also wanted to show the original shape. So this is the displaced shape. You see, I still could not get rid of these lines that came over. Oh, this is even a wrong plot, but it's okay. So this was the original shape, and I wanted to show the displaced the highlight of the displaced shape, and I had to really go ahead and tweak all of these, plus I had to turn on the silhouettes for splines. So maybe in a different video I would show how I was able to get this image in the end with the displaced cavity highlighted and also the displacement field. So yeah, if there's any question you have about something, maybe I know it and I forgot to mention it in the video, or you have some other suggestions on how to improve the visualization with CST Studio, or you have an information about the color ramp, please leave it in the comments so I can learn, and then others that see the comments can also learn. Thank you.